I think we've all seen examples of businesses who have cut corners, who've done things the wrong way, and society has a higher expectation of our business leaders than that. It's important that our students understand their responsibility as leaders, to their shareholders, yes, but to the society in which they live, to conduct themselves and the way that their business operates in an ethical fashion. We have to prepare them with the tools to accomplish that as a leader.
You don't have to look at the front page of the Wall Street Journal very often to see some type of ethical breach or scandal that's caused because employees at a company didn't follow the law or the ethical standards. And so as I was teaching both undergraduate and grad students here at one of the top business schools, I started thinking about how could we better prepare individuals while they're students to be more ethical when they get into the work world.
So we want our students, our alumni, to make us proud and to make ethical decisions. In the past, what we've seen, the research and our experience, we treated ethics like a topic. We would have a course on it. But what we realized is that it goes beyond that, and that in the real world, they're not faced with multiple choice answers or true or false kind of situations. It's real life. And so what we have found is that multiple touch points on thinking about, learning about, and applying ethics does lead to better ethical decision making.
We spent the last 4 years thinking and experimenting in the classroom with different ethical interventions to start studying when would students become more ethical, and sometimes we found they would actually, in a sense, become more unethical.
We eventually had done enough of these studies that we had students who had been involved in the ethical study multiple times. And those students seem to have a much greater increase in what we measured as ethical maturity, right? Their ability to apply ethics to certain situations.
And that then told us, okay, we're on the right track. It's actually the number of exposures and interactions with ethical thinking and tools that then helps people become more ethical.
So that's what started us on this path of figuring out, what if we did more of a longitudinal study where we're looking at students across time, from their first exposure to ethics and different perspectives in ethics to the time that they graduate, and how are they better able to apply and analyze and act on ethical dilemmas.
We are partnering with several other professors, and in their courses, accounting, finance, supply chain, human resources, we are going to have them also talk about ethics, but from that lens, from that framework.
One of the things that's been really fun is involving our undergraduate students in the actual analysis of the data. One thing that Cranor is well known for is data analytics, and our students tend to have a lot of skills in that area, but we're actively looking for how can we give them kind of real world experience where it's not just, okay, here's what the textbook says, now run the simulation from the text, and that we'll call that good.
For the ethics research, I've primarily been working with Dr. Kelly Blanchard, trying to go through a lot of data that Cranor has gathered over the past few years where they're taking surveys of students and trying to see before and after they take this course which teaches them ethics, do they improve in their ethicality? So for that research, what I was doing was a lot of data analysis, going through these surveys and trying to see what variables can we be looking at and what results can we be looking for to see if people are actually improving in their ethicality, or what's really changing between when they first come into the class and when they leave the class after having some ethics training.
One of the really exciting opportunities here for us is not just to take some content that someone developed at some other school, but to develop our own content and approach that then becomes a national model for how one can teach ethics in the classroom. And so as we are working both to develop pedagogy and studying the effect of it on our students, we aspire to not only make the classroom experience for our students better, but to teach the rest of the world how we instruct students, how we prepare them to be more ethical decision makers.